All right, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome everyone to another episode on the Mizi Wahid podcast. I really appreciate all of your support. I appreciate you listening, tuning in, downloading my episodes from Spotify, and sharing them with me. I especially like reading all of your little notes and DMs that you send me and sharing and spreading them around on your social media platforms. Um, I have been doing a lot of solo episodes this time around, to be honest, and it's been a while since I had a guest. But today, Alhamdulillah, I'm happy to share that I have a very special guest with me today. He is a dear friend of mine who is currently the CEO of Nailofar, right, in Malaysia. And yes, their brand is also growing within Southeast Asia. And I'm very happy to have with me today Mr. Aqief. Aqief, how are you, my brother?
Good, Alhamdulillah. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's awesome. Thank you for making time.
Yes.
Well, we have a list of questions for Akif though, but we don't want it to be too serious this episode.
Yeah, we can keep it casual.
Let's keep it casual. There are a lot of things we can talk about. And I think I'll try to ask as many questions, and I'll try to imagine what the listeners would be wondering as well. Um, and hopefully, by the end of this episode, you'll also be able to take away some nuggets, some beneficial lessons that you can use and you can reflect upon for your life, inshallah. Okay. So, okay, first and foremost, how is it dealing with the pandemic over there in Malaysia?
Um, I think personally not a problem
Mhm.
because I by nature I'm an introvert, so no issue there. But for business, it has been tough because, as I'm sure with any other business owners, they're facing a really hard time. It's a systemic hardship.
Mhm.
For especially for businesses like retail, F&B, where there's a huge drop in foot traffic. Yeah, I think it's been tough, but we're doing whatever we can to push through.
Mm. Okay, we'll talk more about that. But you said that you are an introvert. Well, I think that's something that I can relate to. I'm also one. But sometimes, Akif, people when they see someone like spearheading a company like Nilofar, um, th- for some people, it's almost like a disconnect. It doesn't make sense. Like, how can he be an introvert? He's networking with so many people. What's your take on that when people like don't believe that you're an introvert?
I think the opposite is true. Like for me, uh, even my wife knows this, right? She tells me to hang out with my friends more. I like to read books. I like to learn new stuff. I just like to be alone and just consume, knowledge and
Mm.
new things that I'm not aware of.
Mm.
So that's just what I like to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can totally relate to that. If I had a choice between hanging out with people and being on my own,
sounds horrible.
yeah, it's almost an easy one for me. And I don't know whether you saw, but I've been buying a lot of new books this year that I want to read up.
Yeah,
And that excites me. I look forward to it. It's not I don't like people. It's just that sometimes, I mean, being introverts, the my energy gets drained a lot quicker. And if I feel
true.
like either I'm not benefiting the person that I'm meeting or that person is not benefiting anything from me,
Right.
I almost get an immediate migraine, like within half an hour. Yeah,
maybe,
within half an hour.
maybe I'm not at that stage yet,
I'm at that stage already. If
but
half an
I
hour
get
of a conversation is going nowhere and I'm like, when can this end? Like it's really bad. My wife also says like, yeah, that's not good, but I'm
what do
trying
you
to
call it?
manage it.
Timbang kosong,
You
eh?
know,
Timbang
sorry,
kosong.
correct,
What do
yeah,
you call it? Yeah. I can't do that too.
yeah.
Like for me, I get really anxious and really agitated when we
Mm,
talk about nothing.
hmm.
Once in a while, okay lah. But then I need, for me personally, I need to be productive when I have done.
Yes.
Yeah.
So same. I think we're about there. Just that you don't have the migraines yet. Ah.
Hopefully never.
Okay, okay. Just want to know a bit about your upbringing, your background. So you grew up in Kelantan, am I right? And then
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you
Pasir
you
Mas
went
Kelantan.
you went to study overseas. You want to share very briefly with our listeners, like a bit about your growing up years?
Yeah. So I spent the first 7 years of my life in Pasir Mas Kelantan,
Mm-hmm.
pretty much as a kampung boy lah. as kampung as we can think of. Yeah, and then I moved to KL when I was about 7 plus 8, not knowing. I only knew how to speak Lantanese. So
Wow.
when I came here, I had to, make a big change and learn a new language. For a small kid, it's essentially learning a new language.
Mm.
And I went to government school for
Mm.
about 5 years, where over the period of 5 years, you learn Malay and read proper Malay and make new friends. And then I was thrown into a private school where they only spoke English.
Mm.
Then I had to learn English.
At what age were you
So,
by then? 13?
but at 12, I think it was 12.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I went to Australia to do my undergraduate in economics and finance.
Mm.
So every phase of my life, there has always been like a big element of change lah, where you need to
Mm.
adapt and you need to sort of learn something new
Mm.
quickly.
Mm.
Yeah. So
That's
so
really
I think
interesting.
that's the highlight.
Um, I want to hear something in Kelantan. It's for my
Oh
own
no,
entertainment and maybe some listeners. Are you still good with your Kelantanese? Like
no.
lingo?
If I were to speak Kelantanese in Kelantan, they know I'm from KL.
That's how
They're
much you
like,
have transformed, is it?
yeah, they will smirk at you and like, okay, you don't even try.
No,
So
okay.
I'm not
Say
gonna. I'm
something.
not.
Say
I'm
something
not
basic. Come on, say something basic. Like say I was raised in Kelantan and then I moved to KL, and now I'm the CEO of.
I have to think. Okay, not that you say that. I have to think how to say it. Can you give me something simple?
Isn't that simple? I grew up
Like
in Kelantan,
for
and then I
example,
moved to
like
KL.
mu nak makan gapo? What do you want to eat?
Oh, something like that. That's your
Yeah.
current level, is it? You can only say.
Otherwise, I have to think. Yeah, I have to
You have to
process
really
and
think
think.
hard. Okay,
Yeah,
can you
yeah.
repeat again?
Mu nak makan gapo?
Muna mak muna makin gapo. Is
Yeah,
that close enough?
that's pretty bad.
Okay, then I'll probably get more than a smirk if I go to Kelantan and try to see anything.
Yeah,
Okay. So you studied in Australia, right?
yeah, yeah.
You studied economics
And
and
finance.
and finance. Is that something you chose? Is it something like a second choice thing? Like, how did you end up studying that?
I was very practical when it comes when it came to enrolling in uni and choosing what course to pursue.
Mm-hmm.
I picked a course that was the shortest
Mm-hmm.
and that was the most practical.
Mm.
Yeah,
Most
so
practical meaning you see that there are more opportunities you can embark on, right?
yeah,
After graduating.
because
Okay.
I wasn't sure what I wanted to do.
Mm.
So I was like, if I did like medicine or let's say engineering, that's gonna take me 4 to 6 years. I don't want to spend 4 to 6 years studying.
Mm.
I just wanted to get out there and just start working right away. So I thought to myself, economics and finance, 3 years, great. You have a lot of choices after that.
Mm.
So that's my thought process, like, albeit not a very good one, but that's
No,
how I
but
approached it.
but I think it does make sense though. You can go into almost any industry with a background in finance because every organization needs that, right?
Exactly,
Mm.
exactly. Yeah.
So do you
But if
love
I
num?
had to do it again, I'd probably take computer science.
Okay, is it because of where the economy is going, the future economy? Is that why or?
Partly, it also forces you to think rigorously.
Mm.
I thought uni was fairly easy for me because the
Mm.
degree was easy.
Mm.
So maybe that one bit I regret lah. Yeah.
You sound like a Malaysian Elon Musk, like wanting to challenge himself all the time. And do you relate to him in any way at all?
No, because he's a superhuman. I'm just an average guy who wants to be something much bigger than average.
Yeah, but it's not that I'm saying you are just like him, but in terms of your desire and your push, just pushing yourself to learn more, and
Yeah,
something is not a challenge, you want to try something else, something bigger. To
yeah,
that
yeah.
extent, do you think you're a bit similar? Because I think that's what he's doing all the time,
I
right?
think so. Maybe not to the scale of him, lah, but
Mm.
obviously you it's a double-edged sword where it's a constant uneasiness where you always want to do better,
Mm-hmm.
you always want to achieve more.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, in that sense, I always want to progress, lah. I always want to go to the next level. Yeah.
Mm. Okay. Next question. So, how do you end up becoming the CEO of a modest fashion brand?
Completely unplanned. None of this was planned.
Yeah.
I was supposed to be in either in politics or investment banking,
Mhm.
one of those two. But yeah, this is the path that you know was drawn out for me. So in the early years of, not to say career lah, after uni, I dabbled a bit in politics,
Mhm. I never knew
and then
that.
sorry,
I never knew that.
yeah, yeah.
Was
So
it public? Did people know about it?
not it was not public. It was working with a member of parliament
Mm.
for about couple of months. Yeah,
Oh, it
and
wasn't long.
it wasn't long. Yeah, but I was quite active in school, in student council, in how do you say this? Public service.
Mm.
Yeah, so that was a few years, and then I went on to work in a property development company,
Mm.
the one that's developing TRX right now.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I sort of knew that corporate life is not for me, because every day when I clock in, I'm just looking at the time and I'm like, shit, so term.
Yeah, I know how that feels like because I was in that situation though, too, because I was at a job, 9 to 5, and after 1.5 years I wanted to leave. 2 years I submitted resignation. They told me to stay 2.5 years, then I left, and they let
Mm.
me go. So I kind of know a little bit about what you mean by that. But when you wanted to leave, was there something in mind that you wanted to do, or did you just want more freedom?
Yeah, I wanted more freedom to sort of like channel my energy, because leveling up to a senior exec and a manager level did not excite me.
Mm-hmm.
It was not something I looked forward to. It was not necessarily the paycheck. It was just building something, you know.
Mm.
And uh, when I thought about it, I was like, I can't do this any longer. I have to leave and sort of figure something out. I did not have a plan,
Mhm.
and until my mom sort of pushed me into sort of helping out with this business,
Mm.
I said, okay, might as well, something to keep me occupied while I find what my thing is,
Mhm.
right? And I sort of just grew into it and sort of have an attachment to the brand, and now I just can't imagine myself leaving.
So
Yeah.
it started off you just helping out voluntarily or what? Was that how it
Yeah,
started?
yeah, just looking at various aspects of the business, what can be better.
Mm.
So month I sort of just felt like, oh, there's something here, and there's a lot more that could be done. Yeah, this can grow into like a nine-figure business for sure.
Mm.
You know, because plus the modest fashion category is growing year by year.
Mm.
So there's definitely something that we can do here. So once I saw the big picture, I was like, okay, maybe this is something that we can do for the next 3 to 5 years.
Cool. So how
Yeah,
many years have you been a part of Nilofa?
2 years plus now.
2 years plus, huh?
Yeah,
Are you happy with what you've achieved so far with the brand?
no, no, absolutely not. Because plus with the pandemic, it's quite frustrating because
Mm.
we plan 1 year out every year annually, and to not be able to execute on your plan, on your vision, just kills me on the inside. Like
Mm.
you have all these things you want to do, expansion plans, but you just have to take the back seat and sort of observe how everything unfolds. Yeah,
So I mean, in Malaysia, they had the first lockdown last year, and that affected sales of perhaps Ramadan, Hari Raya, right? And for
definitely.
a lot of companies,
Yep.
um,
Yep.
especially being a Muslim majority nation, that's like the peak season. And when you can't run and function as per normal, when the bazaars were all closed, um, it must have been tough. But maybe
Yep.
you can share a little bit with how you were able to still maintain a very decent performance during that period. You and your team, like what do you do? How do you rally your team to tell them, you know what, we're not going to quit, we're not going to give up. This is what I'm going to do. Like, what did it take for you to do that?
First of all, when the pandemic hit, I did not know what I was supposed to do. I
Mm.
was panicking. I was making a lot of reactive decisions. I think until a couple of weeks in, I sort of like, sort of self reflected and told myself like, we really have to assess and make the right choices.
Mm.
And I think I got away lucky, to be honest, because
Why?
I didn't plan anything spectacular. We just had really, really good products.
Mm.
And when you have really good products, people just find ways to get their hands on it.
Mm.
For example, like one of our product, one SKU, generated 4 million in revenue.
Wow. Was that a
Yeah, so
new
that's just,
product launch or what?
it was a new product launch. It was our
Mm.
prayer mat.
Mm.
Yeah, I did not know that was gonna happen.
Mm.
That inventory was planned for 6 months. It ended up being sold out in 1.5 months.
Wow.
Yeah, so
So
that was just
you
luck.
didn't did you have to, market it differently, or was it just everything still according to plan? It just sold better beyond expectations.
The thing is, we didn't even market it.
Wow.
There was no marketing done. I did not expect. I budgeted for about 10,000 units to be sold during Ramadan. We
Mm.
ended up selling like 50,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Mashallah.
So that is something I
So
didn't
how do you
really.
then, so when you now reflect back as the CEO of the company, how do you then, make sense of that and try to replicate something similar in the future?
Okay, so the thing in retail is that you can't replicate something like that.
Uh-huh.
You can try to prolong it. You can sort of see what worked and sort of replicate and hope that it somehow has like half or 75% of the success that it had. But chances are it's not going to be as good as the first time because that was not planned.
Mm.
Yeah, but what we as a company we how we look at things is that whatever it is month to month basis we have to make a profit.
Mm.
So we will always find a way to make a profit. So that's our mindset. So even if it means I'm not going to take a salary as long as there's a profit in our records,
Mhm.
we're going to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've not gone to that extreme. But I think the
But
mindset is
it's
really
about
important.
it's about having the mindset. I totally agree. If
Yeah,
you have the mindset of it's okay whether we perform or we don't perform, we'll all collect our checks. That kind of mindset is not going to help, right?
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So like what my team did was, let's say the team that produces the visual assets for our company, they they sort of like improvise and cut down a lot of costs.
Mm.
And on the marketing side, we really reduced our marketing spend and found ways to sort of reach out to people in an organic way instead of
Mm.
paying for advertising. So we just there was no blueprint. It was just finding ways to cut costs and be efficient.
Mm. Wow. That's
Yeah,
really good. Um okay. So how
because
it,
like what I said, if you take care of the product and you take care of your people, in most situations, things will take care of themselves.
mm,
Yeah, so that's my philosophy.
okay. So I want to ask you now, as I also run a few businesses, I want to ask you, do you think about the business every day, 24/7?
Not 24/7, but every day.
Every day. Um,
Yeah.
so what do you do to chill actually, to relax, to wind down?
Still finding the answer to that.
You can say, oh,
Uh,
I read books or whatever.
uh, that doesn't help as well.
You play video
That just
games?
makes it worse.
You play video games?
But what I'm thinking of, what I'm doing right now is that I'm watching a lot of horror movies.
Why?
Strangely enough, I don't know.
I'm not a fan of horror
That
movies though.
that takes my mind off things.
Mm,
Yeah, because it's like if it's comedy or if it's Avengers or whatever, can sort of your mind can still wander off to other places. Then
you
there was
mentioned
this one.
Avengers. I remember your wife really likes that.
Yeah, she's obsessed. I'm I'm not a big fan, but as soon as I watch a horror movie, I'm just blocked out, and you get scared, and yeah.
Mm.
So I've been watching.
I'm a fan of action movies. But it's more like with a drama to it. It's like what's that movie that Matt Dillon plays as a series? The Spy. Was it? Do you know what movie Matt Dillon plays? Not Matt Dillon, sorry, is the other guy. Astaghfirullah, I forgot. Anyways, I like those kind of movies. There's always a plot twist, really interesting storylines, but there's also action in it. Yeah,
Right, right.
I enjoy those kind of movies. Anyways, okay,
But
yeah.
if I could share one more thing, another thing that I've been thinking of doing is getting someone else to replace me. So
So soon?
yeah, because I just feel like I need someone else with more experience, more I don't know. I just feel now we're at a point where we need a really experienced person to drive the business even further. So when I reflect and I sort of check on myself, I just don't think I think I can get there, but there's gonna be a lot of mistakes. Yeah.
Mm.
So
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 when you say more
that
experience, are
that
you
have sort of
actually when you say more experience, are you saying someone older than you?
no. Someone who's been there, done that. I don't
Mm.
care if they are 30 or 40 or 50. If you've been there, if you've been to where I want to go, chances are you won't be repeating the mistakes that I would make. Lah. So
Mm.
so that's one more thing I've been thinking about. So so yeah.
So this is part of succession planning, is it?
Not really succession. It's just getting someone to execute my vision
Oh, okay, got it.
because I'm aware that there's some things that I'm not good at.
Mm-hmm.
I know that certain things I will make some mistakes along the way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do I minimize the mistakes?
Got it.
Yeah, and it'll be a chance for me to sort of learn from this person as well.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 2.5 years, Akif, what is your biggest challenge? That you had to deal with. Very stressful. Maybe apart from the pandemic, huh? If you
Mm-hmm.
can share, and how did you overcome it?
Some things I cannot say, but if I were to
Sure.
tell you, I think 99% of people cannot deal what I dealt with.
The
I think
level
they
of
will
stress
go
is really high,
through.
right?
At one point, there was a pandemic. There was a during pandemic, there was some issues with the uh, issues with the authorities, and then issues with other stakeholders, like
Mm.
4 or 5 issues at the same time,
Mm.
and none of it we were not in the wrong in any of it.
Mm.
So it's just the nature of business.
Mm.
So
So
at
how
that time, I
soon?
was dealing.
How soon before can start seeing gray hair on you?
I already have gray hair, so.
You're still very young,
but
man. Like,
but if I were to say the most challenging thing, lah, apart from the pandemic, I would say restructuring of the talents in the business.
mm,
So in my leadership team, which comprised of about 11 people, only one of them were there when I arrived here.
mm,
So the rest I had to move them out. So as a 26-year-old, when you're talking to someone who is 30, 40 plus, you're telling them, hey, I don't think this is right for you. We need new talent to sort of grow the business. It's really difficult.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. But you just had to do it.
So how do you prepare yourself before such a conversation? Like,
The first time I did it, I chickened out like 3 times, three, four
uh,
times.
uh,
Okay, I'm gonna do it today. Then when it comes, dah sampai pukul 5, tak apa lah, esok lah, esok.
mm. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not easy to have those kind of conversations, but in business sometimes it's just necessary. But it's also, I think you're doing them a favor too. Am I right to say that?
exactly. Because
Mm,
when I tell them, I would tell them, if you were to stick around, I don't think there's a path for growth for you because it's just not the right fit to where we want to go.
mm,
So yeah. So in a way, we're doing them a favor as well.
mm,
Long term, maybe not short term.
mm.
Yeah.
It's true. Okay. Some people might think that okay lah. I mean, your brand is very popular. You have very well-known family members. D- Some people assume like, alah, Akif punya kerja ni bukan susah sangat. The brand so popular already. What do you
Yeah.
have to say to people who say that?
Okay.
Is brand and popularity alone enough to run a business like this?
Brand and popularity is one aspect of the business out of 12.
Mm,
So there is HR, there is finance, there is logistics, there is production, there's merchandising, there is
mm,
fashion, there is creative, there is marketing. Celebrity is not going to handle that for you,
mm,
right? Getting a centralized warehouse, making sure deliveries are on time,
mm,
handling the customer complaints. You cannot get a celebrity to fix that for you.
mm,
You have a celebrity endorsement. That's
mm.
great. That's going to amplify whatever you do.
Yes.
But if whatever you do is not uh, your product is not any good, your marketing is average. When you have a celebrity endorser, it's just gonna amplify, an average marketing campaign, an average product.
Hmm.
So you're not gonna get repeat customers.
True.
So yeah,
So you need to ensure that the products, the service is top notch, so that whatever you have amplified, whatever you've gotten reach, they will be repeat customers, right?
exactly,
Mm,
exactly. I mean, that's how we sold 50,000 units of a single product because people
mm,
genuinely love the product. It
mm.
looks good, it feels good, so they tell other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Aqief to send me the product. He said he's going to send me already.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's on the way.
I hope you guys won't be jealous. But if people want to buy them, is it still available or sold out or what?
No, we haven't launched it yet. We're doing a we're pre-selling it today actually.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Looking forward. Okay. I'm gonna move away from your stories now, and I just want to talk about, you know, so that if we have listeners right now who are running small businesses, listeners who intend to go into the business world, just want to pick your brain a little bit and ask you like some tips lah, right? Like what should they think of when they're starting a business? Um, I don't know. Like sometimes when people come to me and say they want to start a business, they only know one aspect of the business, if you know what I
Mm,
mean. Like
yeah,
I'm a really good baker. I want
yeah,
to go into business and do my own. I know how to sew. So I want to open a business that does tailoring, Like
right.
there's so many aspects of business. What is your first advice for such business aspiring entrepreneurs?
Uh, I think first of all, as long as you are self-aware and you have the hunger to continuously improve and learn, you'll do just fine. You're gonna make
Okay.
mistakes, but you'll do just fine
Mm,
because you have to know that what are you good at, what are you not good at. That's where you bring people in,
mm-hmm,
and then you have to just continuously run through books, courses, and learn from other businesses who have been there, done that. You'll be fine, to be honest. But if you're asking more on the practical side of things, when you want to start a business, what I don't what I don't see people doing is assessing the market size of that particular business that they want to venture into.
mm,
It's fine if you want to have like a small business. That's completely fine. You can have a cash flow business that you can live off.
mm-hmm,
If you want to build a big business, you first have to look at the market size
mm,
and work your way back from there.
mm,
There's a product, and then there's your marketing plan,
mm.
sales channel, and all that.
That's really good.
Yeah,
Because I think a lot of times when people start a business, I guess Akif, they just see it as okay. I want to quit my job because I hate my boss. I want to fire my boss. I want to start something on my own. And a lot of times that's just them being self-employed. There's no big vision. There's
right.
no plan to grow to a certain size, to hire people. It's just they see themselves doing something that they like and earning themselves, which also means that they can't really take a break though.
Exactly,
Mm.
exactly.
Okay, so that's good advice. You are mainly in the space of retail. My
Mm,
next question would be a lot of retail businesses are now forced into going online e-commerce
right.
because COVID, right? What are some tips you can share with regards to the transitioning process? Because you're
Mm.
so used to like placing your products everywhere, and now there's no place to put them up, and they're a bit, they're not so savvy with the online stuff. Like, what would you say to them?
I think the most practical thing to do is probably not build your own website, but just go to a marketplace that's already there.
Example?
Yeah, you have a marketplace, right?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
Our
you have a
caravan.
marketplace, and then there's really massive ones like Shopee,
Hmm.
Lazada, and things like that. That requires no tech skills or no huge cost. You can just start running a business right away.
Hmm.
And then the second thing is the mindset of retail. I think moving forward, how you should think about retail is there's no such thing as brick and mortar is dead. Online is the way to go. The future of retail is retail everywhere.
Mm.
That means you have to be on WhatsApp for business. You have to be on marketplace. You have to be online. You have to be on brick and mortar. You have to make it super easy for your customers to buy your product. So yeah, if you're not thinking about that, then you're limiting your revenue potential.
So you don't agree with the absolutists out there that say, oh no, it's brick mortar is dead. We have to just go online fully. Oh no, online is all crap. You need to stick with your shops and. So you believe that both are important.
Yeah, usually the guys that come up with all this theory, they are very academic, or it's very theory based. But our retail shop bring a lot of revenue.
Mm.
Our online sales are growing.
Mm-hmm.
So, both is doing well. So
Mm.
why do you have to pick and choose,
Mm.
I'm gonna take anything I can. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, those are really good advice. Thank you so much. My next question is about the future. So, as we know, the future is pretty unpredictable. We don't
Yeah.
know whether there's going to be another wave. Hopefully not, inshallah, right? But what do you think is the future of business, the future of retail? Let's say we fast forward 5 to 10 years from now, and what would you, as the CEO of Nilofar, um, would prepare yourself and the team to be ready for future challenges and opportunities?
I think something like this is really what you call like a black swan, right? You
Hmm.
really can't prepare for it. So we're not gonna bother preparing for another pandemic in the future. So, but what we probably do is what I said just now is we're gonna be everywhere. So we're gonna be good at one-on-one conversational commerce, WhatsApp for business. We're gonna be online on marketplaces, online, and we're gonna be on retail consignment counters as well. So we're just gonna focus on diversifying our sales channels so that when one is gone, you still have the others to support your business.
Mm,
So yeah, but in terms of specific retail trends, I have no idea.
mm.
I just don't know.
But I think it doesn't matter if you don't really know or you don't want to predict too much or worry too much of the future, as long as you know that you are quick on your feet, meaning you're nimble, you're flexible, you're adaptive, right? As
Yeah,
long
yeah,
as
exactly,
you can maneuver easily if you have that kind of an attitude.
exactly.
Yeah. Having a fixed mindset is what's tough. Like, oh no, we have to stick this way because this has worked all the time. It must stay this way forever, right? So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I change my mind all the time, but that's a good and a bad thing.
Mm,
So
okay.
like my marketing team and my product team, they sometimes orang pun pening.
Mm.
Like, hey, how come our product calendar change again?
I
Because
just read
I
I
have
just
a
read
I have
something.
a different idea now.
Yeah, I just read something about that recently, and it was something that I've been conflicted with for quite some time. I manage a team as well, and I'm like, one day I tell them to do this, the next day I'm like, no, 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 scrap that. Or sometimes after a week or 2 weeks after they've worked on it, and then I'm saying, no, actually, I don't feel it anymore. And there was a time when I really felt bad. I felt guilty for doing that because I feel like, how can I be so fickle?
Right, right.
Like it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But then I
So
read recently that actually changing your mind is a strength or it's a good quality because
yeah,
if you know that it's no longer what you think is best, you need to change it. You don't stick with it.
exactly. Yeah.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean changing your mind 20 times on a single subject,
Of
right?
course, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. So, but if you're willing to change your mind, like you said, that means you're able to sort of uh you're able to sort of like reflect on your own understanding of things, which is
Mm.
good.
Mm.
Yeah, and which is quite rare.
Mm. Okay. I'm gonna ask you one more question. After that, I'm gonna give all my guests an opportunity to ask me one question about anything at all. Okay. So I'm gonna ask
All
you
right.
one. I'm gonna ask you one last question. what kind of legacy would you like to leave behind? And I'm not. This is not like a big grand question, but rather just within
Mm.
your work and your industry right now, what kind of legacy would Akif like to leave behind after you're done with
I have a
this?
very specific goal,
Okay.
very, very specific goal. I would like to um, exit the business for 9 figures.
Hmm.
And
Do you have a timeline for that?
hmm, best not to say.
Okay.
'Cause,
You don't want to jinx it or what?
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
but that and another one, you know what? I'm not gonna say it.
Wow, so
For
secretive.
current
For
goals.
strategic reasons, I think.
No, no, no. I just don't want to be embarrassed.
No, it's okay. I don't think, I love people who are ambitious. I like that you set really high goals for yourself and for the company. I respect people who do that, willing to be embarrassed about it if things don't go according to plan.
Right.
But to be bold enough to set a goal that high means something, you know.
Yeah. So the other one is I've been thinking about making horror movies. I'm serious.
Okay,
sounds,
that's it. That's
it
your
sounds
next life,
crazy,
I
right?
think. That's your next life, right?
So this Thursday I'm meeting a few directors to talk about what we can do for next year.
If you need
So
an ustaz to play a role in that horror movie, to baca-baca doa ke apa, you can call me, okay?
you should check out this guy from Indonesia. His name is Joko Anwar. He
Why?
makes he makes the best horror movies.
I
Look like
cannot. I mean, okay, let me tell you, I think Indonesian horror movies are scarier than Malaysian ones.
yeah, definitely.
Yes, so I cannot. I don't. I'm not gonna watch that.
But this guy, this Joko Anwar guy, he's on another level. You
Mm,
think Indonesian movie is scary? This guy's on another level.
mm,
So I was like, why don't we have something like this? Can we do
mm,
something like this?
mm,
So so yeah, just exploring my opportunities. My ideas are crazy, but I mean, what I thought was okay. Fast forward 5 to 10 years. If I don't do this, uh, if I don't at least make one, I'm not. I'm gonna regret it. So
mm.
might as well just yeah.
I get what you mean. So I wish you all the best. Looking forward to that horror movie, though I'm not really gonna watch it. If you bring me to the premiere, I'm just gonna close my eyes and pretend I watched it. Okay.
Now your audience is gonna laugh at me. You think this guy's crazy?
Okay. So now, before we end, do you have anything you want to ask me?
Hmm. What What about you? What's your style of managing your business? Because I think you have quite a lot going on as well.
Hmm.
Like, how do you sort of switch off and sort of really be in the moment with your family? Yeah.
Well, in the past I did struggle, to be honest. When I'm with my family, usually I'm still very distracted, and it doesn't mean that I have a phone in my hand. Distracted as in my mind is not really there. You know what I mean? So I'm
Right.
thinking about this idea. I'm thinking about following up with that client. I'm thinking about, is are we prepared for that event coming up this weekend? It's like a thousand and one things in my head. But I think over the years, what I guess I've been able to do better is to delegate, trust the team better, and when I brief the team better, telling them exactly how things need to be done and what kind of updates need to be given, how promptly some things needs to be followed up with, and then just leave it there, I'm more at peace. So I
Mhm.
guess it boils down to good communication. You
Yeah.
communicate well, your mind is more at ease. Yeah. Of course, there is a part of you that still needs that assurance that the team was able to execute it at least once or twice before this to for me to have the trust that, yeah, they know what they're doing already, you know, and give them a bit more autonomy as well to make decisions that are not so major, so drastic, and that has allowed me to have a bit more peace. So my way of recharging is always with the family. Spending time with the kids really helps me to recharge. Although people always say, like, wouldn't you need time alone? Yeah, I mean, I do have my time alone when I'm like what? When I'm driving back home, sitting in the car for a while before I get back into the house. And I used to travel a lot, so there was a lot of alone time,
Right.
technically. So yeah. So far so good. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. I think I need to practice some of that. You know, giving a
The art
clear,
of letting go.
yeah, giving a clear brief and then giving a follow up plan. Oh, I'm so bad at that.
Mm.
I give a lot of briefs, but I follow up on half of them.
Yeah, I mean, you're still very young, so it's just within 1 or 2 years you'll get there. It's not very, it's a matter of time, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Okay, Akif, well, thank you so much for being my guest today. I really appreciate the friendship. I appreciate the time. I appreciate you sharing stuff for our listeners today.
Sure.
And I want to wish you the very best in
Thank
all
you.
that you do.
Thank you.
I hope you get to hit your goals. And I also I want to wish you the very best with the horror movie thing too. You know,
I told my wife about that. She just laughed at me. She's like, "You crazy? So
you
you
out of
think
your
of the weirdest
mind.
things."
It's probably like when Elon Musk told his wife that I'm going to the space. Like probably like that kind of reaction. Like what in the world? Okay, Akif.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, but I have a feeling you will do it, inshallah. I know it.
Inshallah. Let's see.
Okay, Akif. Thank you so much.
All right.
And
So,
we'll catch up soon. Yeah.
inshallah.
Okay. My last word for you is you'll never walk alone.
Laugh. You guys just laugh.
Okay. Bye bye. Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. Assalam.